Keep your mouth shut and you won't get hurt.
All right, get the jewels.
Give her the bracelets, earrings, and the necklace, too. Come on, let's get out of here.
I got into the case the following day as the representative retained by the underwriters who held the insurance on the jewelry stolen from David Carew and his wife. 3 policies on the jewelry amounted to slightly over $150,000. My first stop was the Coronado police station to talk with the officer in charge of the investigation, Sergeant Hollister.
Sit down, Dan. Sit down. Did you talk to the Carews?
Not yet. I thought I'd check in here first. I understand Carew got roughed up.
Yeah, but he was lucky to get off as easily as he did. Lucky for us, too.
How so?
Well, he managed to pull the mask off one of the 2 bandits, and he got a good look at him. And early today, he made a positive identification from the mug files.
Paula Rem, huh?
Well, you know him?
Yeah, from the Woodruff robbery 6 or 7 years ago. Any idea how to find him?
Well, he has a wife that lives here in town. I've talked to her, but she says Rem and she split up about a month ago. She doesn't know where he is. I gather she doesn't much care.
Will you give me her address?
Well, sure. But you'll be wasting your time. Unless you think you can get more out of her than we did.
Well, maybe I can.
How?
Well, you're after her husband. I'm after the jewelry sold.
Amounts to the same thing, doesn't it?
Well, probably, but you're fishing with a dry hook, Sergeant. I've got some bait to put on mine.
Oh. How much of a reward is the insurance company offering?
10% of the insured valuation. Can I have her address?
.1004 Seaview.
Thanks.
Oh, Dan. Don't forget the civil servants if you find anything.
You'll be the first ones to know. 1004 Seaview was a residential street that had gone to seed. As a dentist, Dr. Henry Dakin had evidently gone downhill with it.
Thought I heard somebody come in.
Dr. Dakin?
That's right. Can I help you?
I'm looking for Mrs. Rem.
Paula?
Is she in?
You from the police?
No, I'm a private investigator.
Oh. Well, she went out a few minutes ago. Just to the drugstore down at the corner. Said she'd be coming right back. Her room's upstairs, 2nd floor front. You can wait here.
Thanks.
Suppose you're going to ask questions about that husband of hers, like the police did this morning.
Do you know Art Rem?
No. I can tell you one thing. It's hard to believe that a wonderful person like Paula is married to a man like that. Well, I knew she was married and was separated, but I had no idea what kind of man he was. I doubt if Paula did either before she married him.
Quite a collection you have.
Yes. You interested in travel, Mr.
Adams, Dan Adams. Yeah, I've seen a pretty good piece of the world during the war, on business.
I've seen none of it. I don't suppose I would have put up these posters if I had. No, I was going to. A long time ago. I was going to take a year. Maybe 2. Maybe longer. Go everywhere and see everything. Then I took sick, and that was the end of that. 3 years in the hospital. Lost everything. My wife, my practice, my savings.
Oh, it's too bad.
Coming down the street now.
Oh, is this yours?
Yes. This house and that boat are all I have left.
Seabright cruiser, isn't it? About 26-footer.
You seem to know quite a bit about boats.
I have a little bit of a bug about them. Nice-looking boat.
Not now. Not any longer. I haven't been able to use it recently, and I can't give it the proper care. Oh, there she is. Oh. Paula, this gentleman's been waiting for you.
My name's Adams, Mrs. Rem. I'm a private investigator representing the company that holds the policies on the jewelry that was stolen from the Carews.
Mr. Adams, I've already told the police everything.
Is there some place that we can talk? I won't take long.
You can use my office.
Well, no, it's too warm in here. Let's go out on the porch.
Nice to meet you, Doctor. The insurance company's primary interest is in the recovery of the jewelry.
Believe me, Mr. Adams, I have no desire to protect Art. Not after the way he's treated me, so if I could help you, well, I would.
Mrs. Rem, the insurance company is offering a reward for information leading to the recovery of the stolen jewelry.
Reward? What kind of a reward?
10% of the insured value. $15,000 if we recover all the stolen items.
You mean if I told you where Art is, then you could...
Do you know?
Well, no, but if I could find out and told you, then I'd get the reward.
If we recover the jewelry.
And, no questions asked.
Oh, within reason.
Let me think about it.
Here's my card in case you want to reach me.
Paula? Did I frighten you?
Where did you get that?
I fixed the light in your closet. You asked me to, remember? I found it in the back of the top shelf. This is exactly the same as the mask that was used in the robbery, isn't it?
Give that to me.
You don't need to be afraid. I won't tell anybody. You and your husband robbed those people, didn't you?
I haven't seen Art for...
Oh, you saw him every night last week. I watched you meet him at the corner.
What do you want?
I heard what Mr. Adams said out on the porch about the reward. You sounded interested.
So?
If you have any idea of turning your husband in and collecting the reward, forget it.
Why?
It's too risky. Besides, what's $15,000 when we can make 3 or 4 times that by selling it ourselves?
We?
We?
You mean just the two of us?
Well, now that your husband has been connected with the robbery, he's going to get caught.
Well, maybe not.
No, you're wrong. The police will catch him sooner or later. He's a danger to you. Hadn't you thought of that?
Yes, it's occurred to me.
Of course, if you still love him.
I made him think I'd go back to him so he'd help me with that job last night, but just as soon as I get my hands on that jewelry... Oh.
You mean you don't have it?
No, Art's got it.
But you know where he is.
Oh, yes.
Where?
Look, I don't like this.
Just tell me where he is, and I'll take care of the rest.
Yes, but...
Maybe you'd like it better if he got caught and took you to jail with him.
No.
Where's he hiding? You mean... Under the circumstances, you couldn't have picked a better place.
the phone down, Adams.
Oh, Rem.
All right, get your hands up. What's this all about? You'll find out. Oh, these are yours. I got them out of your desk. I hope you don't mind. Now, sit down. Now, put them on. Stick the other one on the arm.
Now what?
All I want to do is talk, Adams. I just wanted to make sure that you can't follow me after I leave.
Why'd you come here in the first place?
Well, I've seen the papers, and I know the cops have got me made on that Carew job.
So?
Well, I've been thinking. I didn't want to pull that job in the first place. I got talked into it.
Go on.
I'll level with you, Adams. If I'd have gotten away clean, I wouldn't be here now. But I don't like running and hiding. I went through that once before. I had to live like a sewer rat. They tagged me before, and they'll tag me again.
Get to the point, Rem.
What's in it for me if I give myself up?
Stretch in San Quentin.
Oh, I know that. And what I'm interested in is cutting down the distance.
You're talking to the wrong man. Sergeant Hollister's the one you should see.
Well, don't you want the ice back? Huh? Well, maybe the newspaper's got it all wrong, huh? Maybe you're not working for the insurance company.
I'm working for it.
Well, then you go to Hollister. Put it to him. Me and the ice, if you and him will go to bat for me with the DA.
What about your partner? Do you give us him, too?
No, just me. Just me and the ice, that's all.
No partner, no deal, Rem.
I'm not going to rat.
You did in the Woodruff case. You'd have gotten a much different jolt if you hadn't turned state's evidence.
This is different.
How?
I can't tell you.
Why not?
I just can't, that's all. Now, look, Adams, you can have me and you can have the loot, but that's all. Now, take it that way or leave it. You've got until 3 o'clock to decide. I'll call you back then.
As far as I'm concerned, Dan, Rem will just waste his dime making that call to you at 3. Especially since he isn't willing to give us the name of his partner. These punks and their so-called code against ratting.
Well, I don't think that's the reason Rem doesn't want to tell us the name of his partner.
No?
I know Art, Rem. It'd take a lot better reason than that to keep from talking.
Such as?
But have you considered the possibility that his partner wasn't another man?
You think it might be a girlfriend?
A wife.
But Rem and his wife are separated.
Well, they could have gone back together again, couldn't they? Look, I'm sure Rem wouldn't be so adamant about not naming a man that was in this thing with him. Or even another girlfriend. But a wife.
Well, I think you've got something here, Dan. I'm going to put a tail on Paula Rem. If she isn't on this, she'll lead us to her husband sooner or later. Are you going home and wait for Rem's call?
I'll telephone as soon as I hear from him.
Okay.
You got it?
Close the door.
Beautiful. Oh. What about Art? What about Art?
Art? Oh, yes, Art. We don't have to worry about him anymore. Now our only concern is how to dispose of this. Did you and Art have a buyer?
Yes, I know a man in San Francisco, and he'll pay top price. His name is Tanner, Warren Tanner.
Where do we find him in San Francisco?
At the Bay Heights Hotel on Powell Street, that's it.
And we don't have a problem, do we? It's a beautiful piece. Model it for me.
Oh, no, I don't.
Come on.
Man in the water approximately 1 mile off Point Loma. Man in the water about 1 mile off Point Loma. Body in the water 1 mile off Point Loma. Art Rem didn't call at 3. And by 3:15, I just about decided he'd changed his mind and wouldn't call at all. Finally, the phone rang. But it wasn't Art Rem. It was the operations officer at the Coast Guard station. A man identified as Art Rem had been picked up out of the ocean by a helicopter. He was being flown back to the Coast Guard base. The pilot of the helicopter had radioed ahead that Rem had asked to speak to me. Rem had been shot before being dumped into the water. And according to the medical corps man in the helicopter, he was in critical condition. It took only 15 minutes from my house to the Coast Guard station, but I was still too late. Art Rem had died less than 5 minutes before the helicopter landed. The wonder was that with 3 gunshot wounds, he was alive when he was picked up off Point Loma, clinging to a piece of driftwood. According to the medical corps man, Rem had said only one thing besides asking that I be contacted. Just before he died, he gasped one word: Paula.
And that's all Rem said, just Paula.
That was it.
Well, a dying man speaking his wife's name, it could mean anything.
Including the fact that she killed him.
No, that's one thing it can't mean, Dan. I've had 2 men staked out on this house where she lives, front and back, and she hasn't budged. And even if she had been able to get out without being seen, where did she get the boat to take Art out in the bay and dump him?
That man that Paula Rem rents a room from, the dentist, Dr. Dakin, he has a boat.
Oh?
I saw a photograph of it.
You know where he moors it?
Well, no, but the boat would have to be registered with the Coast Guard. They could tell you.
Now, I'm going out to the station right now. You want to come along?
No, I think I'll go back and talk to Paula Rem. She seemed to be interested in the reward. Wonder if she still is.
Even with Art dead?
The jewelry's still missing, isn't it?
Who is it?
Dan Adams.
Just a minute. Well, Mr. Adams, this is a surprise.
What can I do for you? I want to see Mrs. Rem. Is she in?
Well, I don't really know. I've been busy in the back of the house. Is there anything new about her husband?
As a matter of fact, there is. He's dead.
Dead?
Coast Guard pulled him out of the bay this afternoon. Somebody had thrown him overboard after shooting him 3 times.
How terrible.
He was still alive when the Coast Guard reached him.
Did he say who... I mean, what happened?
No, he didn't. Now, if Mrs. Rem is in, I'd better break the news to her.
Her room's to the head of the stairs.
Suppose you show me.
Well, all right.
Doesn't seem to be here.
Well, come to think of it, I did hear her go out. Yes, I remember now. I was in my office about an hour ago and I heard her leave.
Of course, she might have come back.
Oh, no, she didn't.
How do you know?
I'd have heard her come back.
From the back of the house?
I was in and out of my office.
Suppose you stop lying.
Lying?
Sergeant Hollister's had men watching this house front and rear since 1 o'clock this afternoon. Now, if she'd gone out after that, they'd have seen her and followed her. Now, where is she?
I don't know.
I want the truth.
Let go of me!
Where's Paula Rem?
My leg.
Where is she?
In the cellar.
The cellar.
She's dead. I killed her and buried her in the cellar.
Call Sergeant Hollister. You'll find him at the Coast Guard station. I'll get him back in the house. While Sergeant Hollister's men located Paula Rem's body in a shallow grave in the cellar, Henry Dakin talked freely, not only about the murder of the woman, but the slaying of Art Rem, too. He gave no hint of remorse over what he had done.
What difference does it make about Paula and her husband? They were criminals. Why should I care what happened to them?
Well, you'll care before this is over, Dakin.
Baldwin. Take him away. Looks like there's a poster here for just about everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere except the one place that Dakin's finally going to see. I guess they get enough business without having to advertise.